What's up, guys? This is Dan from Coin Bureau Trading, back at it again with another crypto market update. Today we've got Dogecoin, Pepe, and Bonk. These are kind of like the top three meme coins these days, and I'm sure you're all wondering, where are they headed next? Are they going higher? Are they going lower? What's going to happen? Why are they pumping? Why are they not pumping? That type of stuff. If this is the type of content that you enjoy, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell. And before we get started, guys, do keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice. It's just my personal analysis of these cryptos. What you see, what you believe about these cryptos could be different, and if it is, honestly, guys, that's awesome. The more difference of opinion we have, the better traders, the better investors we're all going to become. So do drop a comment down below if you have any thoughts about these cryptos. So with that being said, guys, of course, first thing we have to ask is, of course, why was Dogecoin pumping? Of course, it's not pumping as much as it was before, and of course, the reason being is that, of course, there was this announcement of the Department of Government Efficiency on November 12th, which now is almost 10 days ago. And basically, if you actually look at the Dogecoin chart, which I'll just pull up now, you can see that that Doge basically rallied into that news, and that has kind of been chopping ever since. And of course, for those who don't know, this Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, is an initiative by the Trump administration that's going to be headed by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. And basically, it's because it has the same acronym as Doge, as Dogecoin, the crypto. This is kind of and of course, Elon is involved in Dogecoin too. And even not only that, guys, but the guy who came up with the idea to name this thing Doge, like the Department of Government Efficiency, that actually came from Howard Lutnick, who's the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, who manages the reserves for Tether, and Tether's a huge investor in the mining industry, and of course, Dogecoin pumping helps the miners. So it's one hell of a rabbit hole, depending on how deep you want to go. But with that being said, guys, the charts are the charts, so that's what we have in front of us here. And of course, as you guys know, I like to keep things super simple. In this case, we have a bull flag forming here, and again, even though it is a bull flag, even though it is a different pattern, the math is basically the same, like the target math. So the starting point of this move is around 20 cents. The resistance is around 40 cents, quite clearly here, and of course, that gives us a difference of 20 cents. And you take the resistance, you add the difference, and that gives us a target of 60 cents for Dogecoin in the coming weeks. Again, this is not going to happen overnight. This is on the daily chart, by the way, guys, and it's probably going to take Doge, I would say, at least a couple of weeks to hit that target. Maybe sometime by mid-December we'll be getting close to that, and that'll be an upside potentially there of around 50%, of course, which would be pretty nice. Again, support is currently around 35 cents. It's possible that Doge could fall below that if the market's kind of like see a substantial pullback. Doge could fall quite quickly, potentially all the way back down to that starting point. Again, though, guys, as I've been saying in recent videos, that's not my base case. You do need to have, or at least in my opinion, you need to be biased that everything is probably going to go up and to the right in the next couple of weeks. We're in that stage of the crypto cycle where the risks are skewed to the upside. Just remember that, guys. The risks are skewed to the upside. So there's a higher chance, basically, in my opinion, that Dogecoin will break out to the upside, going to that 60-cent target. Then it will break below this 35 cent support, I should say, and fall super low, like all the way back down to 20 cents. I don't think that's going to happen at this stage in the cycle, guys. So yeah, upside there of around 50%, downside of around only around 10 or 11%. You're looking at a risk reward ratio of over 4, which is pretty solid. Like especially when it comes to meme coins. And of course, some would say that Dogecoin is more than a meme coin. But again, guys, we're not going to go into too many rabbit holes here. With that being said, as you guys might have noticed, we were using Bybit there. The Coin Bureau deals page actually has some awesome deals for Bybit, Blowfin, OKX, KuCoin, and Binance. These are amazing exchanges, guys, and the deals there that we have are even better. It doesn't cost you a thing to get those. You just use the sign up link in the description, and you can get up to 70% in the case of Blowfin, up to 70% off a trading fee discount, and up to a bonus of $100,000. And I know a lot of guys will say, well, I don't have a lot of money, so these deals might not help me out. And to be honest, guys, it really just depends on how frequently you're trading. If you're trading frequently, then you'd be surprised. Like a lot of these deals, especially for the trading fee discounts, that's going to help you out a lot. And I know this from experience from the previous cycle. Again, using these deals doesn't cost you anything. So if you're planning on trading frequently, then definitely take advantage of these deals using the link in the description. It's going to help you out a lot. You're going to save like $50, $100 over the course of the bull market. And again, I'm speaking from experience here, guys. I'm not just making things up. So now moving on, we have Pepe, of course, which is this popular meme coin. It's on Ethereum, and this is where things, again, you can kind of get into a rabbit hole as well in terms of basically capital moving into Ethereum's ecosystem, and a lot of that's probably going to find its way into Pepe. But in any case, guys, I think that Pepe has been pumping. Of course, it recently had a Coinbase listing, if memory serves, or it's just been listing on more exchanges, let's say, I guess the simplest way to put it. Of course, Elon here recently tweeted a picture of a news Pepe, let's say. And of course, this Pepe is a really well-known meme, at least, on the internet. One thing that people forget, when it comes to these meme coins, is not everyone understands what Pepe is or what it means, especially these larger investors. It's funny to us and those of us who are familiar with crypto and familiar, with the interwebs and 4chan and stuff like that, and even Reddit or what have you. But it's easy to forget, guys, this is not something that necessarily resonates with the average person, average investor. Something to keep in mind when you hear people talking about meme coin super cycles. The fact of the matter is that not everyone knows these memes or understands what they mean. But of course, that being said, there's no denying that people are going to be aping in, especially when they see these low price tags. And this is where I have to say, guys, so as you can see, same thing here, Pepe as with Doge, kind of like a bull flag, a little bit more, let's say, a little bit less intact. I don't know if that's what we could say. But as you guys can see, I've drawn up, or I guess written out, basically these different numbers. It's 10, 17, 24. These are not dollars, guys. These are not cents. This is 0.000. It's with 4 zeros in front of that. So just keep that in mind. Everything I'm about to say now in the next 30 seconds or a minute or so, it's in reference to 0.0000 and then 10 or 17 or whatever. So I'm just writing the numbers out so it's easier for you guys to keep up, and also easier for me to kind of do the target math. So with that being said, guys, the starting point here is 10. Again, that's not $10. That's not 10 cents. That's 0.000 whatever. The resistance is around 24. The difference there is 14. So we take the resistance, add the difference, and that gives us a target of 38, which in Pepe's case, you're looking at a very potentially sizable gain here of 60%. Again, this is on the daily. This is going to take a couple weeks to hit. Probably sometime into December is when Pepe is going to be approaching that target. So don't get too excited. And not only that, guys, but as I've been mentioning, we have to see Pepe get above this resistance level. The same is true for Doge, in case that wasn't clear enough. And of course, right now Pepe is quite a bit lower. So you can make the argument that if you really want to be brave and you want to take start going from this level, you'd be looking at an upside of what is that, like, all basically doubling your money potentially. Again, guys, there's no guarantees here, and especially with meme coins, super volatile. But those of you who are feeling super brave and you think you want to take on this trade now before the resistance has even been breached, just holding it on spot, you could potentially double your money in the next couple of weeks. And that might sound like awesome, guys, might sound like a lot, but to be honest, there's a lot of altcoins out there that are probably going to see similar gains or even larger gains, including like big ones like Ethereum, that have been completely forgotten. And so, like, when you see like these huge gains, you always have to think, like, what is the risk involved, and are there other cryptos where I can get a similar return with less risk? And the answer, guys, honestly, at this stage in the cycle is yes. So don't go too crazy thinking that Pepe is gonna gonna go up and it's the only way that you're gonna be able to make money because there's a meme coin super cycle and whatever narrative. As I just said, guys, I think that's going to change very quickly, especially when SEC Chairman Gary Gensler steps down. In a way, I think almost every single altcoin is going to become a meme coin of sorts because there's going to be no restrictions. But anyways, guys, that's another kind of a rabbit hole. But yeah, Pepe chart's looking pretty good, and in terms of risk reward, the risk reward isn't as good as Dogecoin, but in terms of reward, potential upside, Pepe is looking actually better than Doge, and that makes sense when you remember again that Pepe is on Ethereum, and I think Ethereum is going to kind of rip higher, and that's probably going to add a little bit of a boost to Pepe there. So again, guys, so now moving on to Bonk, and Bonk, of course, is a meme coin on Solana, going around the ecosystem here, and of course, recently Bonk announced, or I guess the Bonk DAO announced that they're going to try and burn 1 trillion Bonk by Christmas, and of course, the less supply of a crypto there is, with the same or more demand, then the price goes up. This is kind of classically known. It's why a lot of crypto projects kind of have like these burn mechanisms or burn incentives or burn, name your scheme there. And what's interesting is apparently there isn't that much evidence to show that these burns really help price that much. It's kind of more like a psychological thing, more of a narrative thing. But of course, I imagine a lot of people are falling for this, especially when it comes to Bonk. And I'm sure Bonk is going to do well regardless, because I do think that Solana is heading higher. So similarly to Ethereum, you're going to see all these altcoins on Solana do very well. So moving on to the charts here, guys. Same thing as with Bonk, as with Pepe there. When I'm drawing out these numbers here and I'm saying 22.45, it's not actually $22. Not 22 cents. It's 0.000. It's 4 zeros in front of that. So do keep that in mind. So in this case, when I'm saying starting point is 22, it's not $22, not 22 cents. It's 0.00022. So the starting point, of course, is 22. Resistance is 52. The difference there is 30. And of course, when you add those two together, that gives us a target of 82. With to the upside, you'd be looking at around 54%. And if we do, and again, we need to see Bonk get above that 52 resistance level, which is certainly possible. It looks like it's about to break that right now, to be honest, and it kind of foreshadows a kind of big breakout even in just altcoins in Solana's ecosystem, which is certainly possible. But yeah, we'll probably see Bonk break above that sooner rather than later. But just like Pepe and Doge, it's going to take a few days, probably a couple weeks, for Bonk to start moving up to this 82 target. Again, that's not 82 cents. It's 0.00082. And of course, the upside there is going to be around 54%. Downside of around, looking at around, I think, 13%. So that's again, risk reward of around 4. Pretty solid, basically on par with Doge. So you could say like if you choose Doge or Bonk, I think in either case you're going to have a similar risk reward in the next few weeks. And similar returns, let's say. So do keep that in mind. So now of course I have to plug the Coin Bureau Club, which is where we actually review quality altcoins, small cap altcoins that are up and coming. We don't really look into meme coins there too much, although I do occasionally some analysis in our research feed. But we're focused very much on up and coming altcoins that have been completely ignored, completely off the radar, and all these different ecosystems in Ethereum's ecosystem, Solana's ecosystem. We found a lot of really interesting ones, some of which have done very well. The way that we choose these altcoins is basically we put up a poll every single week, and our members get to vote on which altcoin we cover. So it kind of keeps us objective. And of course, our members give us some tips, let's say, on altcoins that they found. We take a look and we see if they seem legit, and if they seem legit, then we add them to the poll for everyone to vote for. We showcase our personal crypto portfolios as well as the cryptos that we're considering adding. And of course, as I just mentioned, we're doing basically research feed posts every single day where we're doing analysis. And similarly to yesterday, guys, if you made it this far, I'm gonna give you some alpha. So today's research feed post, I actually just posted it, I don't know, like an hour or two ago. Sorry guys, here I'm gonna have to reload these pages. It's really annoying with some of these things. You're just trying to check the price, and then there's always these pop-ups and stuff. I'm sure y'all can relate. But anyways, guys, so this is where things get interesting. So what we're looking at here, of course, is the stock of MicroStrategy. In case it wasn't obvious enough, like what other chart looks like this, maybe with some meme coin. But what's really super fascinating, guys, is that yesterday MicroStrategy basically entered the top 100 stocks by market cap. In my opinion, that's kind of like a nice thing that could be signifying like a top catalyst. Let's say this is on the weekly, by the way. This is not on the daily. But yesterday we saw a pretty sizable rally for MicroStrategy, and I actually think that we are basically going to see the same thing happen as with what happened in 2021. Basically, MicroStrategy saw a top in early February of 2021, and then it kind of consolidated. You can see if we zoom in here, guys, you can see that MicroStrategy basically chopped during the whole crypto bull market. MicroStrategy topped super early, and then it was basically chopping for like eight or 9 months after that. And I actually think we're going to see the same thing happen here. I think that MicroStrategy potentially has topped here, and it's going to start chopping for the next 8 or 9 months. And you might be thinking, okay, well, what does this have to do with Bitcoin? What does this have to do with crypto? Well, here's where things are super interesting, guys. If we pull up the chart for Bitcoin dominance, and we actually take a look here in the past at like roughly where MicroStrategy topped, it was actually just as Bitcoin dominance was starting to break down. So if we see history repeat, I know like everyone's talking about Bitcoin dominance going up. Shout out to Ben Cowan for constantly posting about that on Twitter/X or whatever. But if we actually look here, if MicroStrategy has topped, it could be another kind of, let's say, a coincidental indicator that Bitcoin dominance is about to go down. And of course, it's going to be extremely bullish for altcoins. And literally, you just look at the chart here and you say, okay, like first week of February, basically Bitcoin dominance, literally that's exactly when it started kind of like rolling over. And I think we're going to see the same thing happen here with the Bitcoin dominance this time around. Doesn't mean it's going to happen now. Doesn't mean it's going to happen in a week, but in the next couple of weeks, I think that's going to happen. And even those even people who are super bullish on Bitcoin dominance and super bearish on ETH and all these other altcoins that have been beaten up, even they're saying like, look, like the sentiment is just so bad now that it's only a matter of time before we see a reversal and a rotation into altcoins. And I do think that's coming a lot sooner than people think. And I think the trigger for that, some more alpha for you guys. The trigger for that will be probably SEC Chairman Gary Gensler stepping down, which is expected to happen in the next couple of weeks. So if you made it this far, consider yourselves one of the first to know, or I guess not the first to know, but one of the earliest to know that altcoin season is coming. And there are a lot of indicators that suggest that it's coming sooner rather than later. So I hope you're positioned and not all in meme coins. Not financial advice. Anyways, guys, if you did make it this far, and if you did enjoy what I just kind of said, then become a member of the Coin Bureau Club using the link down in the description. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ping that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.